Hey fellow balloon nerds, Christopher Lyle here, also known as the guy in the yellow suit. I am about to begin my very first shift at the resort for the season for spring. That's right, spring has sprung here in Dallas. That's the theme for this year at the resort. And I thought to myself, what better time to film for you my updated balloon setup than right here tonight. A lot of you have been asking me what I've been using since the end of last year, because as you might remember, I sold everything. I got rid of my Zuka golf cart, I got rid of my Aloha XL, everything. I have completely changed gears, and you might be asking why. Well, it all has to do with this guy right up here. My right rotator cuff got blown out at the end of last year. And I thankfully didn't need surgery, just physical therapy. And the one thing that my physical therapist and my doctor agreed to was that my mind was writing checks that my body could no longer cash. And that was more than true with my balloon setup. If you looked at my last balloon setup, in my opinion, that is the best balloon setup, hands down, you could ever want for yourself. Problem is, I am not a young guy anymore. And my doctor and physical therapist agreed that my balloon cart was what injured me. And if it wasn't what injured me, it definitely wasn't helping me any. So the old balloon cart, I mean, you saw it, and if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out, because it really is a badass balloon cart. I mean, I was literally lugging about 100 pounds to and from the pitch every single time. Plus, I had to get it out of the car. I had to get it back in the car. Even though it was on wheels, because it was on, like, the Zuka, I would tilt it back, and I still had to endure all of that weight as I was, you know, lugging it back and forth. It was just a lot. And for that reason, I am referring to this as the old man setup. Hey, you damn kids, get off my lawn. So, I'm about to head in. I'm now parked. I'm not driving and trying to film this all at the same time. But I'm going to show you everything that I'm currently using, because so many of you have been asking. You want to see the update. You need closure. I understand, and I'm sorry it's taken me 5 months to get there, but I wasn't sure what was going to work and what wasn't. So anyway, you're about to see what I've been using for the last 5 months, almost 6 months now. So I'm going to head to the back of the car, and I'll see you there to unload. All right, it's the back of the Nerdmobile. Pay no attention to the Star Wars stickers. So here's everything, okay? And it is so much easier to not only get it out of the car and put it in the car, but to lug it out to the pitch. So all of it is based on this guy right here. This is my wagon. And I really want you to look at how small and compact that guy folds up to. You probably can't even really tell on the video, but this thing almost compacts to a cube. You'll see it better once we get inside. But it's very lightweight. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the car and open it up. And there it is. It is huge. This thing is a beast. It literally is the biggest wagon that I've ever seen, which is pretty surprising considering how small and compact it shrinks down to when it's all like pushed back together. But I'm going to load all of this into there. And as you can see, everything fits nice and snugly. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy and lug it inside, and we'll talk about everything that we see here once I get set up. Good, how are you? All right, so we are in the resort. We are here at the pitch, and I'm going to just kind of start taking stuff out, and I'll talk about what I'm doing and why. So, like I said, this cart is such a godsend because unlike the Zuka, where I'm enduring all of the weight as I kick it back and wheel it to and from, This wagon literally takes 100% of the bulk. I don't have to worry about weight or anything. This takes all of it. So super nice. I can't believe I've been doing it the hard way all these years. So it all starts with this table, okay? This table is a camping table from Cabela's. I get triggered with the whole TV tray thing. I worked alongside someone for years now that would always, we'd show up at the pitch, they would reach in, grab this nasty looking TV tray with like face paint stains on it and condiment stains because it was always laying in the floor of their car under like fast food wrappers and just the nastiest grossness you could possibly imagine. So I get triggered with the whole TV tray thing. What's the difference between this and a TV tray? Very little. But it's a camping table and not a TV tray, which is why I like it. It opens up just like this, and it is set and ready to go. All right, so this table, believe it or not, I have stood on this table in the past. I won't today because with my luck it would probably break, but this did support my weight the one time that I stood on it. It is extremely sturdy and I really like it. So we've got the table. Next, we have this. This is a DeWalt toolbox. This contains a lot of my different things that I need. So we'll open it up. I have an inStand table. That probably looks a little familiar to you. This is what my pump is going to go on. Okay. The inStand top. Lock that guy in place. All right. This is my tablecloth. It's really just the size of a napkin. Okay. But it's large enough for the table and it gives it a little something. This is my pump. I'll get the pump out here momentarily. My tape to mark off everything that I need to mark off. And my scrap bag. Additionally, I've got my two poles that I will, my two, what do you call them, PVC poles that I put into my bag. And that's going to support my business cards and my Sharpie caddy. All right, or my marker parker. Stay. Okay. I've also got my light and my battery pack because here at the resort, when it gets to be about 7:30 to 8, it gets dark in here and there is very little light. So this is a must. More about that later. Okay. Get the pump out. I am still using the Premium Smart Twist. Okay. That'll just fit there. This guy can just get tossed back in here. I also have a sticky roller, just in case I need to get any lint off of this guy before I use it. Because a clean pitch is a happy pitch. Yeah. All right. So this can get all closed up and set aside for the moment. My tablecloth, I put it at this kind of like caddy corner, so only the four corners show on the table. Okay? And then my bag will fit on top of that. Now, the bag. Let's chit chat about that for a second. I went down from an XL. I sold my XL at the end of 2024, and I purchased the Aloha N. It wasn't big enough. I just sold it again and I went back to the XL. I have bag commitment issues. I really need to seek help. But Ron loves me because I keep spending my money with him. So I'll set this up here for the time being. Stay. So I went back to the XL. As a matter of fact, this is the first gig I've used my XL at since I sold it in 2024. Brand new XL. It's going to be a little bit loud. It's going to be bright. Bright pink, yes. This was the only color that Ron had in stock right now, and honestly, I love pink. Everybody thinks yellow is my favorite color. I'm all about the pink. I am definitely a pink girl. Yeah. So, here we go. There's the bag. Got my number one fan. Another inStand table to support the fan. And I normally don't extend it all the way. I have it a little bit lower, so the fan is kind of blowing up at me. So right there. And it would blow right on me, right over here. All that's left is my closed sign. This is the Rosie Bruni closed sign. I'm not going to get into that here. Check out my video that I already posted on that. This is a lifesaver, the best closed sign you will ever find. All right, this guy has replaced all of the drawers that I used to carry underneath my cart. All right, so let's talk about what I've got. So we open up the very top. I've got my business card holder. Okay, of course my business card holder is 3D printed. Okay, and I've got my marker Parker. Okay, you can get both of these from joes3designs.com. Make sure I'm saying that right. joes3designs.com, correct. Okay, these are just 3D printed, and that's what is going to end up going on that yellow PVC on my table. Let's toss that here for right now. I've got all my extra business cards in here. This section is where I keep all the stuff that I had in my drawers. These just pull out. I've got some Band-Aids and like a fingernail file, some safety pins, a phone charger, bells, Neoloons, my glue dots, which I need to add more of into here. This one, I've got my Just One More balloons for that pesky person that doesn't get my line is closed. I've also got my thumb wrestlers, my little thumb wrestlers, and I've got my little rubber balloon dogs as my insurance policy to get me the hell out of here when my shift is over. And then in this last one, this is just some magic that I carry with me. I've got like a couple decks of cards, some sponge balls, a couple of tricks that I just keep in here in the off chance that I have the opportunity and I can do a little magic while I'm doing balloons. That's always nice. In here is where I keep the headbands. I've got headbands on this side and more headbands on this side. Not that I need them right now, but these are my hand warmers. When it's like 10 degrees outside and I'm booked to perform outside in the frigid cold, these things really get extremely hot. I just stick them in my pockets and that heat radiates all throughout my body. Perfect. Get yourself some hand warmers from Amazon. All right. And all that's left is to really stow the cart up so it's out of sight and out of mind. Look how impressive this is when it's completely collapsed. super easy, takes up a teeny tiny footprint, and best of all, super lightweight. This thing weighs a fraction of what a Zuka cart does. To finish up, we open the bag, one PVC, cram it down to about there, the other PVC, right about there. Okay, I've got my marker parker, and that'll just rest on top like that, facing me, of course. And my business card caddy goes right there. Easy. I'll get to the tape here in just a minute. I've got my little scrap bag with my closed ticket stamper. And I've got another set of glue dots in here. I've also got my blush, not for me, but for when I'm doing like princesses and that type of thing. So it's easy access. This guy just has two little carabiner clips. I'm just going to clip that right on to the top of my inStand table. Lights. So I've got my battery pack. And I got my ring light. This ring light is extremely bright. And all I do is I just clip it onto my inStand table. And I angle it so it's going to shine down directly on me. I can plug it into my battery pack. And I'm all set. Whenever I'm ready for it, I just power it on. And it illuminates the entire top of my bag. Unless I accidentally turn it off like I just did. So, okay. Anyway, more about that later. All that's left to do is to mark my line with my tape. So, I'm going to grab my tape. I'm going to fold one edge over just to make it easy to pull up at the end of my shift. Now I'll practice for the dry foam. This is why I don't get invited back places. And now the most important part is where I'm going to put my X, where I want the child to stand when they're getting their balloon. So I'm going to come up to my bag with my arm, and I'm going to touch my bag, and then I'm going to take a step back till I can't touch it anymore. That's where the X is going to go. Same thing I did with that. I'm going to fold over a little piece so I can pull this up quickly at the end of the night. I've got my X, I've got my line, I have no need for stanchions or cones or any of that stuff. All people need is a visual boundary of where to pitch up and where to stand to get their balloon. That's all you need. If you're using stanchions or any of that other stuff, much easier. And as you can see, everything just stows neatly out of the way while I work. And that's it. This is my updated old man pitch, because I don't have to worry about my rotator cuff anymore. It's super lightweight to get it out of the car, throw it in the wagon, drag it here, it sets up, it looks very professional. It's not the Zuka cart professional. I no longer have that zip in, zip out capability that I longed for years and finally achieved. But at the same time, my rotator cuff is no longer yelling at me. And my doctor is happy, and my physical therapist is happy, which makes me happy and my wife happy. So, with that being said, this is everything. I will throw all the different links up that you need to purchase any of this stuff that you want. If any of this would help you out in your journey, that would be awesome. Until next time, stay yellow, my friends, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.